This week, we are going to talk about something. I realize I haven't said this out loud since I've been doing this research and writing this script.
Okay.
We are going to talk about spong monkeys. So let's dive in.
What even is that?
Good. That's a great question, Kyle. Spong monkeys. S-P-O-N-G monkeys. One word. In 2003, two British brothers by the name of Joel and Alex Veitch created a flash animation featuring two, to put it gently, odd-looking creatures singing "We Like the Moon." Now, Kyle, you've been on the internet for a long time. Does this ring a bell? This is weird enough that I would have thought that you would maybe know something about spong monkeys.
I feel like I've encountered the term before. Could it potentially be read as sponge monkeys?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's what I'm thinking of, but I don't know.
Joel, who is now 46, he is one of the creators of a website called Rathergood. They wrote it during a beer-fueled night in the UK.
Cool.
There's a quote that says, "I was in the pub
any night.
Yeah, in the UK, every night. I was in the pub with my brother, and we were talking about how great the moon was while we got a bit tipsy."
As you do.
Oi, mate, the fucking moon's so fucking cool.
I love the fucking moon.
So they went back to their house and continued to drink even more beer, where they got out the guitar.
Sure.
And they started to improvise some lyrics paying homage to the moon. They even recorded it that night. Because the next day, looking back at the impromptu songwriting session, they were shocked to find that they didn't hate it. In fact, they were inspired. At the time, Joel had been working on these characters, the Spong monkeys. He was active on a British website called Beta, where Spong, S-P-O-N-G, was where you would add large eyes with small pupils to images.
Sounds like porn.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna spong.
You've been on Spong Hub?
So yeah, he was working on these characters. They wrote this song, and he kind of put it all together. They would later be described as, quote, "a pair of odd-looking creatures with large, bulging eyes, small pupils, ill-fitting teeth, and incongruous hats. Yeah! A cross between a hamster, a gerbil, and a monkey, and mutant gerbils on steroids, razor-toothed, demented-looking furballs."
Wait.
Okay, sick.
Wait. Is this the Quizno's rat?
John!
They got a pepper bar!
Yeah! We got it! The Quizno's rat!
Pepper bar!
So, yes, it is the Quizno's rat, is what we are talking about.
Fucking believable.
He put together a video where his creatures are singing about the moon, it was an anthem. Joel says, quote, "We shoved it up on the internet, and that's how it all started."
We like the moon, 'cause it is close to us. We like the moon.
It went viral. It reached over 1 million views, which was at the time quite a feat. This was like pre-social media on YouTube. This was 2003 that they put all this shit together. Rathergood is the website, and it was created by Joel. He is an animator and a musician, and he started the website in 1999. It featured a variety of humorous content, original videos, songs, games, animation, stuff like that. And it did gain some popularity in the 2000s among sort of the quirkier, offbeat online folks that were looking for what is this internet thing and how do I make it weirder, basically.
My memories were it was kind of like an E-Bombs world kind of thing, but
right.
You go there because you hate E-Bomb and you don't like his exploitative ways.
He said basically then rather than waiting for others to create the type of website that he wanted to see, he just kind of transformed what was his personal portfolio essentially into this website. The name Rathergood was meant to be ironic, as much of the content on the site was intentionally silly or absurd, and it gained, a decent following. Over time, the site grew in popularity and helped launch Veich's career as an early internet celebrity. Around this time is when somebody stumbled across the Spong monkeys. a guy named Ty Harper, an art director at the Martin Agency. And he went down a late night rabbit hole that led him to Rathergood. He bookmarked the We Love the Moon video and just kind of forgot it and left it at that. Quote, I had no clue why I was bookmarking it, but I had a feeling that it would come in handy someday. I was just mesmerized. A few months later, in 2004, Quiznos approached his agency to pitch a massive national campaign that would that would make a big splash. They wanted something to get noticed, is basically how they pitched, or talked to the agency. Harper knew just the thing. He brings up and pitches Spong Monkeys earnestly singing about their love for subs.
Yeah, dude. Which has a new connotation in modern day YouTube and Twitch.
Subs? Oh, yeah, subs.
Also in financial domination, etc.
Does anybody even refer to long sandwiches as subs anymore?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we live
Hoagies, grinders. Yeah, we're not an East Coast
we live
bunch.
in San Francisco, so no one's referring
We
to
just call them sandwiches.
But I know in the podcast I listen to, they're always referring things to either hoagies. Actually, it's mainly hoagies, cheesesteaks, chopped cheese. It's very specific to the actual type of sandwich, but I don't know about sub. Sub, the phrase itself, I haven't heard much.
You can open that first image I sent of the original Spong Monkeys screenshot from the video.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Very cool.
Yeah, so We Like the Moon. They are fucking terrible to look at.
The moon is very useful, everyone.
I disagree.
Oh, okay. Well, does one of you want to describe them in your own words?
We have what looks like a lovely botanical garden or some sort of outdoor garden with a tree. And upon this tree is an overlarge hamster that has climbed this tree and is clinging to it and was wearing a bowler cap.
He clingeth to the tree.
He clingeth to the tree. He weareth the bowler cap. He also has extremely large human eyes and a human mouth, and no more hamster-like features appear upon his face. His ears are pronounced and large, and there's a chat bubble that says, "We like the moon!" In addition to that, in the background, there's a pirate version of the same guy with a more deranged mouth and a guitar, and he's clearly jamming on the other tree.
Looking at this image, if I was awakened from a coma recently, but I had some recollection of what was going on in the world, and you told me that an AI had generated this image, I would have believed you, because it's fucked up in a way that it doesn't quite get the human features right, nor does it quite get the animal features right.
The thing about the Spong Monkeys is they look like the living embodiment of a ransom note. They look like somebody took a magazine, cut out a bunch of different parts of animals, and just pasted them together.
Give us the subs and we'll give you your child back.
Ty Harper was like, well, how about Spong Monkeys? They're weird. And he and his partner took some time, quickly rewrote the lyrics, keeping true to the lack of cynicism in the original. They're very earnest in their pleading about how much they love the moon. Yeah, it's horrible to listen to as well. I mean, it was recorded on God knows what back in 2003, quickly while they were drunk. So the quality is not good.
This story really just goes to show you that even if you have the tiniest amount of follow through, it can launch you into the stratosphere.
So Harper said that lyrics came effortlessly. Quote, "We were sitting there crying, laughing, thinking no one's ever gonna buy this, but boy, it's a great way to kill an afternoon. We showed them to the creative director, and he just kind of took off his glasses and rubbed the bridge of his nose." But he went for it, and to everyone's surprise, so did Quiznos. The Martin Agency showed Quiznos a video of college kids reacting to the We Like the Moon video, leaving them wondering what exactly had their target audiences in stitches. Then they showed the Quiznos suits, Veitch video, the idea being that they'd now find it hilarious and not odd, which is exactly what happened.
Excellent.
Weird.
They then had Veitch on board. Harper remembers the email he sent to Veitch. Well, he says, quote, I was like, you're not going to believe this. I told him I worked in advertising and gave him the long story short before asking him if he'd be interested. Luckily, he said, yeah, that sounds great. Veitch was bewildered, given that he was in the UK and Quizno was a US company. But nonetheless, he and his brother were quickly flown out and they animated the ads and they sang the songs, which they re-recorded. He says all night until his voice was raw.
We really like them, and we like kills, and we like booze, and we like deer, and we like mammals, and
Just doing that voice of that character.
Questioning your life choices in a vocal booth is not fun.
Hey, what are the rules for me to put in? Can I put that in the audio?
Yeah, put it in the audio. Make it a jump scare. Just randomly drop it in at weird segments. So months later, Veitch went back home where he just continued to work as an animator. He kind of forgot about it and wasn't thinking very much about the ad when they first began to air. When they did, his email immediately blew up. Quote, nobody around me had a clue what was happening. It was all in another country for a brand they never heard of. The reaction resulted in his website crashing when over 250,000 people went to check out his work. Unfortunately, the backlash was just as swift.
Backlash?
Within the first week of the campaign, Quizno's corporate received more than 30,000 calls complaining about the Spong monkeys.
30,000 people are upset.
Yeah. Well, that's only the people that took the time to go call Quiznos.
I'm about to be calling up Hulu right now to lodge a formal complaint about this commercial that I've been getting nonstop. Good Lord. So I need to follow in the footsteps of the people who were upset about the Spong monkeys. And
Yeah, start a petition.
Yeah, I might get a typewriter. I'm gonna type it up by candlelight, and then I'm gonna mail it in to their corporate office and be like,
What
Hulu?
year is this? All of them?
The Raven Edgar Allan Poe year. What year was that?
So, 30,000 calls complaining about the Spong monkeys, specifically their bizarre appearance and unusual behavior, as well as the jarring contrast between their appearance and the high-quality food imagery used in the ads, which made many viewers feel repulsed and disturbed and found the ads off-putting and offensive.
the Quizno subs! They are so good, we need them robot eating roast houses barbaric!
As I was putting these notes together, I read many articles that came out in roughly 2004, and I noticed a trend where, in order to not sound like they're just copy-pasting from another article about the Spong monkeys, people got really creative in how they described the Spong monkeys.
Okay.
So I have a list now that I was dying laughing every time I found a new descriptor. So we're going to go through this.
Cool.
Great.
They have been described as the following: mutilated critters, horribly annoying, disfigured singing rodents,
Wow.
disgusting creatures,
Sure.
singing rats, revolting,
One word review. Revolting.
One word review.
strange monkeys. This one I enjoyed a lot. Haunted. Drug-addled castrato hamsters.
Wow.
Googly-eyed guitar-playing beasts.
Ooh, that's me.
A surreal creation. And finally, visually jarring.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most accurate of all of the bunch.
But no one says cute.
No, not a single cute or any kind of
And
praise.
no mention of a pepper bar, I've noticed.
We're getting to the pepper bar. Everybody
Okay.
cool your jets on the fucking pepper
it's
bar.
just me. I will not cool
It's just Kyle.
any
Kyle
jets
loves the pepper
without
bar.
In a 2004 article from the Denver Business Times, there was a headline that said,
Hard-hitting journalism there.
Quizno's spokesrats grab attention. An Alabama Quiznos franchisee put up signs in his windows saying he wasn't responsible for the ads, as they were turning away customers and making children cry. From the article, Andra Madden, a 27-year-old in Canada, says she's still haunted by the ads. Quote, I was roughly 10 years old and in British Columbia visiting my dad when my young mind was molested by those absolute hell beasts.
Absolute hell beasts? What the fuck?
She first saw them after a long flight and was sure they were merely a jet-lagged induced hallucination. However, it continues to be an inside joke between her and her dad. Quote, he still jokes about taking me to Quiznos to see the roadkill monkeys every chance he gets.
Oh my.
That's my favorite one so far.
Roadkill monkeys. So there were a bunch of other news articles, one from the New York Times that had a headline that said, what, in all caps, is it about sandwich shop chains that inspires Madison Avenue to present them in campaigns that are more self-consciously zany than a Noah's Ark filled with animals from Super Bowl commercials? They estimated that this ad campaign, I think, cost $25 million, roughly, dollars. To get to, publish and put all the materials out there. There were a bunch of other examples of other firms doing weird shit like this around the same time. An agency called Cliff, Freeman and Partners in New York showed humans acting like cartoon characters, including a chef who forgot to wear his pants to work and a hungry man raised by wolves.
Hey, you got that instead of the toasted Philly cheesesteak from Quiznos? What, were you raised by wolves?
Ron Paul, who's the president at Technomic, a food service consulting company, says, what I think is happening here is that our friends in the sandwich category are feeling competitive pressure from the burger chains such as McDonald's and Wendy's, so they're gonna make horrifying imagery to pair with their sandwiches, I guess.
The thing is like, I'm trying to think what was happening at the time with Wendy's or Burger King. Was this when Burger King started doing that weird, like,
the guy in the mask?
Yeah, was that?
Yeah, it was the king.
Exactly.
Because that was also creepy. That is more nightmare-inducing than the roadkill monkeys to me.
What I started to find is people reacting to this and then being like, what the fuck is going on with sandwich chains and their weird like, what was going on in 2003? The reception, right? The commercials, the spong monkeys appear on screen superimposed over photographs of impossibly gorgeous food items. One jingle describes the sandwiches. They are tasty, they are crunchy, they are warm because they toast them. The song ends with the characters observing that Quiznos offers customers a pepper bar. In another commercial, which I don't remember the Quiznos pepper bar. Was that a thing?
Neither do I.
I don't know. I went there and I ate their food and it was good because I got to watch my food go through the conveyor belt. But I don't know about a pepper bar.
Now that you're mentioning it, I do remember a pepper bar. It was jalapenos and banana peppers, and you would just put them in a little container and take them with you.
Yeah, they were like
That's
in Cambros at the end of like the slide where they gave you your tray, right?
Where your food rode down the slide.
A la Baja Fresh with the salsa bar.
In another commercial, the Spong Monkeys offer $1 off sandwiches with a coupon of any coupon. Quote, 4 things to eat, or oil changes, pony rides, or hair plugs.
Those are $1 off when you bring in a coupon. All things to eat, oil changes, pony rides, or hair plugs.
That was in the fucking commercial.
So how are we not supposed to talk about that for 15 minutes is my question.
I know.
Kyle, let's just let
Carrie
him.
All right.
He's really
Feuerman.
Rattle off your nonsense,
Vice
maestro.
Chairman and Group Creative Director at Market says the characters are sort of take us as we are kind of guys.
Sure. Face value boys.
He added evangelists for the brand whose enthusiasm is infectious. This is classic testimonial advertising. No, it's not, because the characters come out and talk about the product as proxies for the consumers who love the product.
Sure.
It's so
Like
stupid.
they're excited about it on your behalf.
Yeah, the Spong Monkeys fucking love these goddamn subs. He also points out that they don't ignore the product, and they don't ignore the offer, which in fucking advertising terms is really important. But all of this is, when you read all of, like, it sounds like excuses he's trying to make for, no, the Spong monkeys are good and cool and you like them, yes?
Yes.
None of this reception bothered Veitch, the original creator, right? He says, I just pictured them being seen in these middle American living rooms, people who never had anything to do with the internet culture. We were just forcing that on everybody. The backlash against the campaign was near instantaneous and universal. Quote, people were saying it was just a bunch of singing rats. And I was like, well, first of all, they're not rats. If you look closely, they're carefully constructed of 7 different animals.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Pay attention. Okay, try to keep up.
That's my mistake. I apologize to the listener.
His argument, however, was unconvincing. The Quizno Spong monkeys frequently make the cut of all-time worst mascot lists, and advertising experts consider it a love it or hate it property at best.
This is kind of mind-blowing to me that they made the worst of lists, because I'm just like, was it that bad? I thought it was.
Kyle, it was that bad.
Really? Am I in the minority here? Like, that I thought it was cool?
Okay, this is the problem. I understand why they are such a cultural phenomenon, but when you watch them, they're bad. They're not good.
Beware of favorite gods! Quizno song!
I am shocked. I
It's
thought we were all on the
jarring.
same team here.
No, I never liked them, and I thought that they were so bizarre. That was like such a step in the absurd. To me, read like, okay, we're just gonna shock people. We're just gonna see, like,
I am hoping that there is at least one person in the comments of this YouTube video that says, I stand with you, Kyle. I stand
Listen,
with
guys,
you.
every morning, it's the song I wake up to and start my morning to. We like that mood!
Kyle, he gets out of his bed, he does a big stretch, he pours himself a coffee,
I'm just like-
and he goes, you know what? We do have a pepper bar.
I don't, yeah. And you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm glad we do. I don't want to know about the fucking veteran who's coming home to make Folgers before his parents wake up. I don't give a shit about that. I want to know about some weird monkey roadkill creatures that love the same food as me. And like, it's bridging the divide. It's making me
The
like,
divide between you and the
roadkill
anthropomorphic
monkeys. Yeah.
six animal characters.
I
Got
now
it.
feel akin to them, John.
Got it.
Quiznos backtracked almost from the jump. The commercials were pulled after only a couple of months.
Wait. We're kidding. We're totally kidding.
Yeah, it was a joke, guys.
Lol.
Harper says, the guy who worked for the Martin agency, the brainchild behind using these roadkill monkeys to sell sandwiches, says
Just fired immediately.
the client came to us and said, okay, you got us noticed, but we have to stop this. We basically won the account and lost the account on that work.
Real bridge burner. I love it.
He's still considered a success, and it remains the work that he's most proud of today. Denial.
It's not even your work, my dude.
It's just his call.
It's also self-described a shitty drunken night of bad decisions.
However, as most things that we've discussed from that era, Spong monkeys have become a nostalgic touchstone. And they have, this is the positive part of this, they have inspired some people to get into animation and
I can
music.
do way better than that. If someone's putting that out there, I know I could do better.
Yeah, I'm curious, actually. I didn't think about it from that point of view. Was it like, this is so god-awful, I know I can do better?
Yeah.
Totally.
This is a fucking Quiznos ad?
Veitch goes on to say that he would be happy to participate in a reboot, and says every now and again there is a sniff from Quiznos about whether they'd like to do it again. It would be fun. Quiznos hit its peak in 2007 and it filed for bankruptcy in 2014.
So sad.
Hey.
But you know, who's to say if it was the Spong monkeys that did it, that put them on that path? The reason why I really wanted to talk about this was because I personally did not really remember Spong monkeys.
Wow. That's crazy. I feel like this was such like a visceral part of my late teens.
Yeah, so the whole way that this came to me was there was a tweet about them recently. I saw a tweet on 3:30, so 12 days ago, from user SullyVem. And they tweeted, "Millennials don't own homes because this Quiznos commercial put a hex on us as children." And then somebody else replied to that and said, "In 2049, I plan to direct 79-year-old John Hamm in the 2-hour TV special Mad Men Returns, where Don Draper ends his advertising career in 2004 by pitching the Quiznos Spong Monkeys ad."
It's just that drunk Don Draper meme of like, okay, so
Yes. So they wrote a page of this episode with the 79-year-old Don Draper pitching Quiznos. I have
Let's fucking read it. Let's do it.
this image. First of all, you can look at that.
Yep, that's it.
Of Don Draper with an old age filter.
They have a pepper
They have
bar.
a pepper bar.
And I have the script, which we can read
I
if
think
you
we
would like
should.
to do
I
this.
think we
There are
should do it.
multiple characters, so I'm not sure how we're going to get around that.
How many characters total?
You guys, how about who wants to read as Don Draper?
John.
John is
Yeah.
Don.
I want to be Roger Sterling.
Okay, you're going to come in at the
Yes,
very
that
end
sounds
then.
good.
I will read the rest of the characters and the scene description then. Mad Men returns. Interior, meeting room, morning. Don Draper, 78, who is somehow both still alive and handsome, stands beside a board with the Quiznos logo on it.
Quiznos. They're toasty. They're crunchy. They have a pepper bar. So why is Subway beating them?
Pete Campbell, 70, now so bald that the dome of his head shines luminously in any light, answers him. Okay. I'm so sorry. The scene descriptions are so fucking funny. Well, they have that fat guy Jared that ate there every day. People love a success story.
We love a success story until it fails, and people always fail. What Quiznos needs isn't a person.
He pulls back his presentation board, revealing the Spong Monkeys, disgusting rat creatures with large human eyes. Peggy Olson, 65, reacts in horror. Kyle, you want to be Peggy?
Sure. Oh my god, what are those?
Spong monkeys. Everyone will hate them so much, but they can't forget them. And these guys love subs.
Roger Sterling, 88, who looks moments away from death, casually enters the room.
That one with the hat looks like my ex-wife Mona. How are you still alive?
Roger pours Monster Energy
Oh my
into his
God.
vodka glass.
I eat Subway every day.
And scene.
Incredible. So that is what I saw and was like, what the fuck are Spong Monkeys, dude? There is one last scene that we can maybe do. Oh, so it's only 2 people. So you guys can play the characters. I'll read the scene descriptions.
Oh my god. Okay, fine.
Interior bar, night. Clocks by Coldplay plays. Don Draper, 78, who is somehow both still alive and handsome. It's the same description as the other one.
Yeah.
Sits alone in a booth with a Quiznos sandwich on the table in front of him. He takes a long drag of his cigarette and then motions to a waiter.
Excuse me. Can I ask you something?
The spiky-haired waiter looks confused at him.
Bro, you can't smoke in here.
Don points to the sandwich.
Do you prefer Subway or Quiznos for your sandwiches?
The fuck is Quiznos?
Don's brow furrows.
That's an uphill battle right there.
So that was my introduction, or maybe potentially reintroduction to Spong Monkeys. I found it fascinating that something as horrible as these roadkill monkeys made it onto national television across the nation.
It's an interesting parallel to Crazy Frog. the annoying thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Again, this is like the second or third one of these types of. I don't know. Is this a phenomena or a personality?
Look, the early 2000s were a fucking weird time. Everybody was still recovering from Y2K.
But yeah, so I started thinking about it and like how things go viral, and I went down this rabbit hole of like the psychology behind why certain things sort of get spread around. There was a study conducted by researchers at Indiana University that analyzed the factors that contribute to the success of viral content. They found that content that was more positive and contained more emotional language tended to be more viral, and that tweets that contained more uncertainty and confusion were less likely to be shared widely. These findings support the idea that emotions play a crucial role in making content go viral. As social creatures, we're naturally drawn to content that makes us feel strong emotions when positive, whether positive or negative. So basically, the Spong monkeys went viral because of how fucking repulsive and awful they looked, and for no other reason.
It's hard to not talk about what like you see.
Yes.
You're like, I saw a wild ass thing, and I need to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
I still think they're cute. Like
Good for you, Kyle. That's gonna be your cross to bear the rest of your life, and I look forward to the content that you create.
I hope that there is a surge of comments that back me on this.
A wave. I can already hear them typing on their keyboards.
But I just don't like being the dissent here. Like,
well, we need to have a contrarian every once in
I know,
you know
but
what
it
I mean?
feels weird. It's like normally I feel like we're pretty aligned, but right now I'm like feeling like pretty like rah for the fucking suicide monkeys. What are they called? Roadkill?
Suicide monkeys. Jesus. Now that's real dark.
Yeah, roadkill monkeys. Is what I meant.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment how Kyle's wrong. And
Please don't.
I apologize if you've made it this far. Of the wave of jump scares of Spong monkeys I've laced throughout this video and potentially the audio that Kyle's gonna upload. And yeah, catch you next week and good luck out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say one last jump, right?
100% there's gonna be another one.
And everyone wanted to know which president was the true throat goat. And
Okay, I do remember this.
And they are all some sort of eldritch monsters of yore, right?
She was also selling videos of her farting in the jar.
I hate this so much. I hate everything about this.
yeah.